Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are back in our panel together for our pay-per-view roundtable review for AEW All Out 2020. I am once again here with the connoisseur of all reporting, the co-host of Wednesday Night Warriors and True Rewind. This is Romeo Anthony Colon.
Greetings, gentlemen. Greetings.
Looking clean shaven, looking like the Hispanic Jim Cornette that I'm sure you're gonna be during this review.
Man, already off to negative vibes, man.
it's positive. Yeah, it's a compliment. Embrace it. And we have our pay-per-view roundtable expert. This man has been on pretty much every pay-per-view roundtable recently. He is the sixth man of True Heel Heat. This is True Heel Ness.
What's going on, guys? Here to review All Out 2. We'll just get into all the good stuff once we get rolling on the show.
We will get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes, there was a little bit of everything on this show. And finally, we have the co-host of AE Recap, the head of creative for My Battery is Dying YouTube channel. This is the one, the only, the fringe heel, Marcus Cash.
And the pleasure is all yours.
He's not conceited, but he has a reason. Before we get into anything, you know you're watching at home, our viewers are watching on the road, wherever you're watching, please give this video a thumbs up, share this video, become a part of our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We are edging closer, hitting our goal for 1,000 subscribers for our YouTube channel here, and of course the iCard down at the bottom, push that to subscribe, and the bell below that to stay notified for all the great content right here on True Heel Heat. So, as always with our pay-per-view roundtable, I want to go around once over before we get into everything, and one sentence or one thought on the overall show. We will start with you, Marcus Cash.
I stayed up for this?
Sheesh.
How about you, Ness?
Solid.
And our Hispanic Jim Cornette, Romeo?
Concussion.
That is definitely a good one. I will say this was the weakest of AEW pay-per-views. That is saying more about the quality of AEW pay-per-views usually, and there was a couple of low points on this one, which we will get into. Romeo, you are a usual quarterback on True Rewind, the usual quarterback when you review WWE, NXT, and AEW Dynamite, so I'll have you take it away.
Very quickly, the buy-in, if you have any thoughts. Joey Janela beats Serpentico, and Private Party beats Alex Reynolds and John Silver.
I would say the MVP of the buy-in was John Silver. He definitely showed out. This is a guy that came into AEW as an enhancement talent, and he's now featured every single week on AEW Dynamite in some form. He's definitely got great comedic timing and charisma, and I felt like he showed a lot in this match against Private Party, but I was happy that Private Party got the win. I would say I agree with Marcus Cash and Jimmy Macaram that I called Proud and Powerful and Lucha Bros the two most underutilized tag teams in AEW in one of my articles for Sportskeeda, but I agree with them that Private Party is right in there to complete the holy trinity of underutilized tag teams.
I would say the most underutilized tag team above Pride and Powerful, and I don't include Jurassic Express in that conversation.
I said Lucha Bros.
Oh, them either. That is a single star and someone hanging on to someone's coattails.
All right, actual card now starts off with the tooth and nail match, which was originally on the buy-in, but online AEW fans bullied Tony Khan to put this on the main card. And wow, I hope you people, you bullies, I hope you regret your decision. Because to me, this was awful. It sucked. How do you start a pay-per-view with this? Big Swole wins. I give this -1 star.
Get
the
I thought you don't rate cinematic matches. So now you're going.
I don't think this was a cinematic match.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was definitely a cinematic match. So now you're going back on your own words.
To me, well, I'm doing it for you. I said that, but then you guys bullied me like you did Tony Khan to rate cinematic matches.
No.
I got peer pressure.
No. Then you have to edit the Double or Nothing pay-per-view roundtable and go back and rate the Stadium Stampede. So keep the same energy.
Stadium Stampede, 5 stars.
Y'all guys laughed at me.
58% of you were right on the True Heel Heat Instagram. You picked Big Swole to win. I will start with probably the opposite opinion of this match. SP3, please tell me how great this was.
I don't think it was great. It was fun. It was funny. It was a nice change of pace. I will give you that the placement of it was a little bit off, which I get them wanting to get the cinematic match out the way to not have the fans looking at a screen. But this would have been perfect in the middle of the show, especially after what would happen later in the show, after a certain match that had a very scary spot. That would have been the best placement for this match. This was entertaining for what it was, with Reba kind of being the comedic relief and Britt Baker kind of playing a serious heel in here and kind of playing the horror show villain, and Big Swole kind of being the protagonist who has her little one-liners and stuff. And I like to finish with her. You stabbed her. That call by Reba was definitely funny, and the sight of Reba with the banana peel on her head saying that was definitely had me laughing. So I enjoyed this. I do rate cinematic matches, and I will give this 3 stars.
I like the fact that Big Swole went out there went in there, I should say, and got the job done. Britt Baker, the best role model in professional wrestling right now, my opinion. But
I agree.
Yeah, she's a real role model, someone to be proud of in their profession. It was a good match. I gave it a solid 3. I like the use of Britt's diplomas around the office, because she is a dentist. So that was fun. The whole thing was really entertaining. I gave it a 3 stars.
Let me start off by saying, all hail to Dr. Goat, Britt Baker, and I love the character development from Big Swole throughout this feud. That being said, this is going to come off a little biased because I abhor cinematic matches. I hate them all, every single one. The only one that's even been kind of good was the WrestleMania Bray Wyatt match. Everything else is stellar. That includes this match. This match, first off, I get you don't know that the Matt Hardy thing's going to happen in advance, so you can't just have it planned to happen after that match. Maybe as your break spot between what was the tag title match and the world title match, as you would typically have that bathroom break kind of thing or whatever, or something just to calm you down. But definitely odd to start off the show. It made me feel like, okay, if this is what the pay-per-view is going to be, this is definitely cavities and need for braces on this mouth of a pay-per-view, because this is just brutal to look at. This is painful. I can't deal with it. They made Britt Baker a horror show monster, which she's way too small to be. Reba, funny, but still more foolish. I can't take her serious every week, and then they remind me of that again the next time she's on TV. And Big Swole won, which is disgusting, because it's Britt Baker. Big Swole should win any match that she's in that doesn't include Britt Baker. Either way, this match was brutal for me. It was just the whole time, just glad I got my $60. Glad I still got it.
I think another note, cinematic matches to some people are hit and miss. I think this pay-per-view would have been much better suited with the next match opening the show. And the next match was Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express. The Young Bucks win this unannounced tornado tag match, apparently, in 1450 with the BTE trigger. 80% of you picked the Young Bucks to win. I thought personally Luchasaurus looked like a star here. I gave this 3.25 stars.
For one of the very few times we are actually in sync in rating, I gave this, as much as a Young Bucks mark that I am, I gave this match 3.25 star. My favorite part of this match was the Luchasaurus offense. One of the best big guys in the business right now. I wouldn't say he's the best, but he's definitely one of them for his size, the way he can move, his athleticism and his agility. The guy can go. I just think he just needs to like work on his offense as far as like the timing, like get his like a little bit more speed up. But as big as he is, he's not going to move as fast. But that's something else we can talk about down the road. Jungle Boy, another star in the making. The Bucks, GOAT tag team of all time. I'll run with that. Don't care. But I expected a little bit more out of the match. It was decent for if the cinematic match didn't happen, it would have been good for an opener. So like it was all right. It was just solid. Nothing too crazy.
Another note real quickly from me. I would have rated this match higher if it was a legit tornado tag. And, I wouldn't have a problem with all the nonsense in the ring. Marcus.
Lucha rules, man. Lucha rules. Lucha style tag team wrestling here.
Romeo, I'm kind of with you on that because the same way FTR has the rules for any of their matches that there has to be tag ropes, I don't understand why you just can't establish that all Young Buck matches are tornado tag matches.
Yes,
Just
I've heard you say that before, and I agree.
have that be their thing. Because it's damning to the referee. It was like 1, 2, and they get to like 9, and they're still in the ring. It was like, all right, well, like 9.1, 9.2. I don't really rate matches. That's not my thing. But
That's fine.
This match was really good. I enjoyed it. Jungle Jack Perry is indeed a star in the making. We need to distance himself the length of several football fields away from the name Jungle Boy. And we need to break up this team of Jurassic Express.
Jungle Man!
Tarzan.
Say
Say that again, Marcus.
Jungle Man is Griff Garrison, apparently. But,
Who the fuck is Griff Garrison?
Luchasaurus is a fine gimmick by himself. I think he could still stay over with that gimmick. I think if you want to start taking Jungle Jack Perry seriously as a star of the company, we need to distance themselves from this gimmick, and they need to fire or drown Marco Stunt. But in terms of the match itself, like I said, really good. I didn't hate the Young Bucks here. I can appreciate the attitude that they've developed since they walked through that heel tunnel the first time. And although I can do without Matt Jackson's John Cena impressions of being completely unstoppable for long stretches of time, still mighty fine in the ring. Not the greatest tag team of all time, but they're still mighty fine in the ring. Thumbs up for that match.
Young Bucks are one of the greatest tag teams of all time. I agree with Ness on that. This match was awesome. I will be the high man on this match. I gave this match 4 stars. It was a really star-making performance for Jungle Boy in the fact that it took so much to finish him. And I think as a resilient babyface, which he will be down the road as a single star, that says a lot due to how much it took of the Young Bucks to finish him off on his own. Luchasaurus is I would say right up there with Nick Jackson for the best hot tag in the business. And this match probably had the most energy from the limited crowd that they had at Daly's Place for the night. It was early in the show. It had the crowd on their feet. I love the Luchasaurus spot flying through the air and taking out the whole three rows of wrestlers in the crowd. That was great. That was an awesome looking spot. Just Jungle Boy, every time he's in there with top talent like the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, he looks like a star. He looks like a future main eventer, and this was no different here. I feel like he was the MVP of this match for sure, and I just gave it 4 stars. It was as far as in-ring action, this was the best match on the show. Some matches had better storytelling, Some matches had elevated the guys in it a little bit more than this one, but this one elevated Jungle Boy. It made Luchasaurus look like a star, and the Young Bucks showing the edge brought some storytelling that is not always there with Young Bucks matches. I will say, yes, sometimes they do break down into a tornado tag, but this match had a semblance of a story with the new attitude of the Young Bucks since Hangman Page screwed them out of the gauntlet, and I enjoyed this match very much.
21-man casino battle royale. Lance Archer wins this. He chokeslams Eddie Kingston from top rope to the outside on the Butcher and the Blade in 22 minutes, 15 seconds. There's a lot to talk about in this match. We could start with Matt Sydal as the 21st man. Yikes. He goes to the top rope. He attempts and he fails. That looked like it hurt. He's okay, I think, so we can laugh.
What are you doing?
Where's this guy come from? He shows up for this shit, but doesn't show up for when he's supposed to.
Exactly. Like, what the fuck?
That was very Matt Sydal of him.
Yeah.
What a botch.
This was probably, the worst or second worst match of the night. I gave this a 1.5 stars, and I'm being generous there. There was a lot of bad wrestling in this match, or bad brawling. I usually enjoy the Casino Battle Royal. I will say they made an improvement on the Casino Battle Royal by not having them all bunched out and coming out as a group, having individual entrances. I did enjoy that part of that. That gets a thumbs up for me. I do like the addition of Will Hobbs in this match because the dude looks like a star. He looks like a guy that they can build around. So I liked his addition into this match. I liked little things, little character moments like Sonny Kiss eliminating Jake Hagar. I enjoyed Brian Cage being dominant and looking great in this matchup. I like the interactions between Brian Cage and Ricky Starks and Darby Allin, but that thumbtack body bag spot was just ill-advised. It was ill-advised in a battle royal because it was like not all the thumbtacks got in the body bag, so people were taking bumps on the thumbtacks that shouldn't have been taking bumps. Then he takes one of the nastiest looking bumps I have ever seen with that power bomb on the apron, and it's just like, dude, no one's gonna even remember that after Matt Sydal's debut. Matt Sydal, I'm glad he's okay. First of all, I'm glad he's okay. That was very scary. And, for him to come out, this is his debut with AEW, and he goes for the move that he's known for, and he just slips. It's like Shockmaster levels of a debut. Like, that's not the best look for him, and it doesn't set the greatest precedent if he is a long-term signee for AEW. So it's like, I feel bad for the guy. I think the guy is very talented in the ring, but stuff like this will be a hindrance to him. And, I don't like the fact that, our next match, people were all up in arms for how what happened to the guy in the next match, and then they're laughing at Matt Sydal. You got to keep the same energy. If you're gonna laugh at one, laugh at the other. If you're gonna be up in arms about one and hope he's okay, you gotta hope Matt Sydal is okay. So that's why I said, first of all, I hope that he's all right. He looked all right for the rest of the match, but it was just a bad look for his debut. And then the finishing spot was also bad because the guys weren't in position. Jake the Snake can't get the snake out of the bag. Go figure.
Was he supposed to?
I don't know. And they didn't establish that Eddie Kingston was scared of snakes until that very moment. It was just so off. But I'm happy that, yes, I am 3 for 3 on predictions. I did think that I wanted Eddie Kingston to win, but then when we did True Hill Heat 90, I did predict Lance Archer to win here because it was definitely a must win for him because he had the great build up heading into the TNT Championship Tournament Finals, and then he's been kind of just floating in the wind. Everybody dies, he's been undefeated since that loss against Cody at Double or Nothing, but this was a good win for him. So that was the other positive of this match. But other than that, weakest match of the card, notwithstanding the next match. But I gave this match 1.5 stars.
It was what it was. It was a fucking car crash. Didn't really expect much out of it. I mean, like, it's a battle royal. What are you going to get spectacular out of this? Not much. The Matt Sydal spot, I really can't blame him 100%. There's a lot of guys in the match. A lot of perspiration. He clearly he slipped, so obviously guys can sweat all over the ring. I'm glad he's okay. This is definitely going to be meme worthy. People are going to run with that. But I'm glad that Lance Archer won. That's some points for me in the Fantasy Wrestling League. So that's the highlight of the match for me. But yeah, it was a lot going on. Not everybody was on the same page. A couple miscues. So, but again, I didn't expect anything crazy out of this match anyway. So I'll give it a 1, just for being there, people showing up, and they finishing the match with nobody dying, I guess.
It's kind of weird and apropos, ain't it? Everybody dies. So Lance Archer wins, and Matt Sydal nearly kills himself. Darby Allin's nearly killed, and it's very apropos. The snake thing, I don't know if they didn't have a real snake with Eddie Kingston, so that was very weird. I'm not even sure Eddie Kingston went over the top rope before he was eliminated. I thought he went through or under the ropes, but I didn't expect Eddie Kingston to be the second to last man standing in this match, so that surprised me, and that leaves me very excited that what I thought was going to be a mouthpiece to these 4 other guys, he's actually probably going to be the focal point. And that's very exciting because he made a hell of an impression. I had never seen Eddie Kingston before his match with Cody. And the more I see him, the more I hate myself for not seeing anything else he's ever done.
It's Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in a Broken Rules match. If Matt loses, he is fired. Remember that. They start off, Matt Hardy's on the football field next to it. And then a nice callback, Sammy Guevara is in the golf cart this time around. They eventually make their way to a maintenance stand. They're high up. There's a table set up. Matt Hardy teases a side effect going through it. But Sammy Guevara is able to reverse it into a tackle or spear of sorts. They overshoot the table a little bit. The back of Matt Hardy's head very visibly hits the floor, the concrete. The ref is Aubrey Edwards, and she calls for the X, but they continue. Matt Hardy, clearly something's wrong. He's a little wobbly. They try to get to their feet. They fall down. He can't get his balance. The ref again throws the X and says very audibly, "I'm stopping this match." Confusion. Eventually, Matt sees the doctor. What's his name again? Doc Samson?
Yeah.
Yes. And you hear Justin Roberts in the background. I think he says, "There must be a winner," something like that. They continue again. Matt and Sammy, they eventually just go to the finish. They climb a scaffold. Matt punches Sammy. Sammy goes through some shit on the bottom. Sammy gets counted for the 10. Matt wins in 9 minutes. 74% of you picked Matt Hardy correctly. Matt Hardy can now keep his job. He doesn't have to rely on Cameo or Twitch. Awful job by AEW here. Doc Samson, I'm going to blame. Tony Khan, I'm going to blame also. I didn't rate this match because this wasn't... Like, what are you doing? Why did this match continue? You could easily script your way out of the whole Matt Hardy getting fired thing. Later on, worry about that on Wednesday. This is wrestling. This is scripted entertainment. You can write your way out of this. And the fans will understand because above all else, the performer's safety should be paramount.
I'm kind of torn between both sides. The match itself, it was pretty much a disaster. Let's just call it what it was. The beginning of it was fun, seeing Sammy Guevara coming in on the little golf cart, whatever the fuck it was. The guys just brawling until the scaffolding and them falling off. I was just like, well, shit, he's not going to be up in 10 seconds. So, like, you can even see Sammy had to pick him up to, like, break the count. So, like, because he knew he wasn't going to be able to get up. But that, again, that would have took over the decision of, Matt was clearly supposed to win, but that would have, like, put the end to all that. He definitely was not going to get up. Could they write it off? Maybe. They could have did something other, but I actually like the fact that Matt came back after the fact and still finished the match because, he's Matt Hardy. He can't die, he can slap a tornado. He can do all this shit. So, all right, I just fucking hit my head on the concrete. All right, I'm a little woozy, maybe have a concussion, but I can go another 45 seconds in this match and win. And that's what happened, congrats, and hopefully he's okay. Hopefully the quote-unquote protocol for the concussion, and he's seen a doctor, all that shit. Man, he ain't seen nobody. We know he didn't see anybody. But, I'm just glad that as of right now, they say he's okay. I'm glad he's okay. His wife wasn't okay. She was going the fuck off on Twitter, and rightfully so.
Can I quote her real quickly?
Yeah, go.
Her famous last words in her text message with Matt, "Don't be dumb." And then she says, "What the fuck? You practically cleared that table. What the fuck? Matt, what the goddamn fucking fuck?"
You asked, why did this match have to continue? And I'm going to quote the worst announcer in AEW, Excalibur. It's because you've got to give the people what they want. And Matt Hardy, the consummate professional that he is, the one who cannot die, had to go out there and ideally further risk his career and go out in a blaze of glory. Hopefully, this is me half glass full here. In his final AEW performance, because he will never be able to wrestle again, and he realized it with that head injury, so he wanted to go out a winner. This was a bright spot of the match. This might have been the match of the night for me.
Oh shit.
Jesus Christ. This is True Heel Heat. True Heel Heat. We're definitely going to get some thumbs downs for this segment. Wow. This might have been the scariest, the lowest, and most irresponsible moment in AEW history. The lack of responsibility shown by Tony Khan, Doc Samson, and then the commentators later on in the night with their updates. Oh my god, it just made shit worse. It made shit worse. Them saying, Matt said he was okay, so that's why we continue the match. The fuck? What? Are you serious? Did you really just say that was your reasoning? So then they had to do a further update, like, oh no, what we said earlier was wrong. Doc Samson did concussion protocol. Bullshit. How you do concussion protocol in 4 minutes? My wife is a medical professional, and she called bullshit on that shit too. She was like, you can't do a concussion.
Was it 4 minutes? It felt less than that.
Yeah, it was probably less than that, but it was about 4 minutes in between when Matt fell, they called the match off, and then the commentators said their little gist before the bell rang again. It was just totally irresponsible. It took so much out of this show. The crowd pretty much never recovered from this whole scene, whether it was the weather, and that had a lot to do with what happened with Matt Sydal in the previous match. The weather definitely had wrestlers a little bit more sweaty. It was more slippery, but I know the weather had an effect on the fans as well, but more than the weather, it was this match and that spot. When a guy hits his head on concrete, you end the match. When the referee puts up the X sign, not once, but twice, Aubrey Edwards deserves no blame at all, because she was the one that was responsible here, that knew something was wrong and wanted to call this match off. Tony Khan, his first thought in this match, he doesn't deserve, a lot of blame for it, but the fact that he just let Doc Samson say, oh no, Matt's okay. No, bullshit. Like, you make that call, because all the heat is going to come down on you, Tony Khan. You're the president of AEW, so at the end of the day, it is your call. Just like with Vince McMahon, I've called out Vince McMahon for doing this before with Liv Morgan in a matchup with the Bella Twins. This has happened a few times with WWE. So if I'm going to send WWE to the fire and put their face at the flame, I'm going to put Tony Khan's face at the blame. Like, Tony Khan, definitely, I will already tease, is a candidate, very well candidate. He's the Giannis Antetokounmpo of LVP right now for this decision. This is one of the worst decisions in AEW history. I do rate matches. I don't care what happened in the match. This was a clusterfuck. This was a disaster, like Ness says. This gets 0 stars.
Doc Samson, MVP.
Marcus, that was amazing that you were able to hold that thumbs up for that long. That was really good.
My feet hurt.
Well, you got to be hurting from that. Not as much as Matt Hardy's hurting.
Awful.
I'm so happy. Oh, what a cruel twist of fate.
I see what you did there.
And even worse decision than the match continuing is allowing Matt Hardy to climb off scaffolding when the man couldn't even walk.
Oh.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me, AEW? I have been called an AEW fanboy. I've been called everything about AEW. Oh, you late because AEW's all this bullshit. I will hold on to this, and this is the worst decision in AEW history. And this is coming from someone that, yes, I am a fan of AEW, but this was horrible.
Congratulations, guys. We spent more time analyzing this match than the doctor did analyzing Matt Hardy. Congrats, guys. As Sid mentioned earlier, this is the turning point of the pay-per-view because everything that comes after this feels very flat. So flat I had to watch some of this a second time because, you know, it's just you get a sunken feeling when you see something like that happen to one of your favorite wrestlers. Also, the fans, as he mentioned, humidity, hot. I want to ask real quickly, is humidity and weather and it being hot a good excuse to be a quiet wrestling fan in the stands? What do you guys think?
In my opinion, no, because you paid money to be there and you knew the conditions when you walked out of your house to head to the show. So you should have took the natural precautions to make sure that you had enough energy, whether that's bringing ice cold Red Bulls with you and having energy for later on in the show when you know you're already going to be sweating for. But I mean, I will say that not only the humidity and the spot in the Matt Hardy Sammy Guevara match, but the length of the show was definitely a detriment to the fans' experience.
The AEW Women's Championship, Hikaru Shida versus Thunder Rosa, the NWA Women's Champion. I want to also say, even the wrestlers at ringside were quiet, I thought, minus the regular crowd. Maybe they were concerned about their co-worker there. This match, back and forth, a lot of back and forth. A meteora spots by Shida to the outside. Rosa's head barely misses the steps. Oh my God, you might as well just stop the pay-per-view there if she got cussed up there too. Shida wins in 17 minutes with the running knee to the head. There's a name for that. I forgot what it was. I gave this match 3.75 stars, but this is a more than a 4-star match to me if the crowd energy is there, which it was not. And that's not on the wrestlers. It's just the circumstances that they were in front of. 61% of you picked Shida and were correct.
I really like this match, and I actually agree with you. 3.75 stars, 3 3/4. This was one of the best women's matches in AEW history, and it was different from the matches that I think have been better when it came to AEW's women's division. I think Riho and Nyla Rose, their 2 matches for the AEW Women's Championship were better, as well as Nyla Rose versus Shida at Double or Nothing was better. But this match match, it was different because both ladies were athletic. Both ladies went back and forth. There was a couple of times where I felt like they were kind of waiting for like the next spot to happen. That's why I won't go as far as like giving it 4 stars. I kind of said I misspoke because I didn't really see much of the match, but what I saw of the match, I thought it was one of the better matches of the night, and I said at that time it was the best match so far. But I felt like the Young Bucks tag match was a little bit better, but this one has no shame to it. If it didn't have to go right after that matchup, I'd say it would have been better. I honestly would have put the next matchup after the Matt Hardy Sammy Guevara match. It would have added to the importance of this match with having all the title matches at the end of the show, and I think that it would have been beneficial for them to come not after that Matt Hardy match. So I do feel for the ladies, but this was a really good effort from both of them, and Thunder Rosa needs to be signed. You need to find out when her NWA contract expires. You need to find out what's the status of NWA and get her signed, because she showed a hell of a lot more here than she did against Serena Deeb, and they were calling that one of the better Dynamite matches, women's matches ever, JR and them during the telecast, but this match definitely was that.
I couldn't really ever get into this match, and it's for the obviousness. Thunder Rosa works for the NWA, regardless of whatever the NWA's status is, right? And she's not going to win the AEW Women's Championship. Like, that's fairly obvious. Like, how that's not 100% of the vote in the poll, I have no idea. The allure of me seeing her in an AEW ring was spoiled in her having a Dynamite match that she never should have had in the first place. I mean, she was all right in the ring. I didn't leave that match going, oh my God, Thunder Rosa, I need to look up NWA now. Like, I just like, all right, she's better than Penelope Ford, right? Like,
oh man,
like, I didn't really care. I'm glad Sheeta won, because that makes sense and it's obvious, but also she's a really good competitor, and I hold out hope that they can find her a decent challenger, whether that be Nyla Rose getting another match with her, which I can't even believe I'm saying, Big Swole getting a title opportunity, Dr. Baker finally getting her crown. Just very about this whole match.
I don't know how I'm gonna follow that one. I enjoyed this match a lot. I gave it 3 3/4 stars as well. What I really liked about this match was, even though there was a lot of back and forth action, I felt as though that Thunder Rosa got a little bit more offense in. And the reason why I enjoyed that particular aspect of the match is because she came in having something to prove. She's also a women's champion of NWA. Her title wasn't on the line, so she had to go out there and pretty much take Sheeta's title, or try to take Sheeta's title to bring back the NWA. Now, we all know that wasn't going to happen, but I felt like from her, she had like a little bit more fight in her. That gave Sheeta a little bit more of the babyface persona in the match, which obviously people are going to be more behind Sheeta because she is AEW's women's champion. So that all played out for the story very well. I also agree with Marcus. I hope they sign Thunder Rosa however they can. Maybe even form a stable of the Latino women, with Diamante and Eva Lise. Maybe throw Thunder Rosa in there somehow. That would be dope. That hasn't been done in the American wrestling promotions. So overall, I enjoyed the match. Nothing too crazy, but the ladies went out there and put on a hell of a match. And I'm glad that she didn't hit her head on that last step, because, oh my God. Yeah, I probably would have had this, like, all right, enough of this shit. You guys got to get it together.
Yeah, I do agree that they did put over Thunder Rosa a little bit more within the match of it, and that DVD on the apron by Thunder Rosa was another great spot, and her kicking out of one at the Falcon Arrow that has put people out in like 2 minutes was definitely a statement.
We learned that Kip Sabian and Penelope Cruz are all of a sudden getting married.
Penelope Ford.
Oh, Penelope Ford, excuse me. Who's Penelope Cruz? Why? Who's Penelope Cruz?
Oh, that's what AEW's website said. So don't worry, your mistake is mutual with them.
Wow. They're getting married on Dynamite. He's going to reveal that he has a best man this Wednesday. He promoted his Twitch, and AEW approved the promotion. I thought that was WWE makes it so easy to make fun of their stupid shit every single time. You figure this would be on Being the Elite, but I'm glad they did this on AEW programming because I don't watch Being the Elite. I'm below my maturity level. Who do you guys think will be the best man? It might be a debuting AEW star. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any ideas?
I think in an alternate universe it would have been Jimmy Havoc, but of course that's not happening with his release. So I could see it being the artist formerly known as Eric Rowan, who has been teased to sign with AEW.
I'm fucking blank. I'm in the dark. I have no idea. Not like I really give a fuck about Kip Sabian to begin with. So, I mean.
I give a fuck about Penelope.
That's, her, yeah. Kip, nah.
Biasness aside, cheesy angle, not really looking forward to it, and very intrigued by who this guy is because they said that the Bachelor is going to be, what was it, too handsome or something? What was the phrase? Was it too handsome?
Something like that. Yeah, it was something along those lines. Like he was a good-looking guy or something like that. Yeah,
like the best-looking guy in AEW, which is a fantastic gimmick, potentially. That's very Rick Martellish, right? But if they're going to blow it on someone like Eric Rowan...
That's why because they said that, that's why I think he was being ironic, because Eric Rowan is not handsome. He's not the most handsome man. So I think it's going to be an ironic thing. It's not going to be an actual good-looking wrestler.
It means it's going to be a terrible gimmick. It's going to be up there with like the Liberians. Like, ugh.
Didn't Rusev once call himself very handsome for a time?
That is a good one.
Handsome Rusev?
That would be, yeah, he did. He did.
But I don't want him with Kip Sabian.
Hey, it's just
bigger than that.
It's just
he should have been the 21st man, if anything.
It's just a means to an end, and it would make sense with Kip Sabian's new gimmick being his Twitch channel.
Actually, no, this could work. It could be Happy Miro Day.
Yeah.
Kip, hooray.
All I know is that the wedding better have Joey Janela drinking a lot of alcohol in the crowd. Depressed with his decisions in life.
Can we drown Marco Stunt and then Joey Janela? in that order, but can we do that? Is that a thing? Can we get a GoFundMe going for that?
8-man tag team match. It's the Dark Order. Mr. Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson versus Scorpio Sky, Matt Cardona, and the Natural Nightmares, what I like to call the Cornball Express. Jim Ross during this match says Matt Cardona is missing something. He just can't put his finger on it. Would any of you like to venture what Matt Cardona is missing?
What is missing from Zack Reuter? Not a tan. He's got that in spades. It's not immediate muscles. He's got those as well. What could it be? A person? No, he kind of has a personality. Could it be a reason to give a damn about him whatsoever?
Anna Jay interferes in the match. Brandy takes care of her, and Jim Ross asks if there could be an Anna Jay wardrobe malfunction. Very Jerry the King Lawler of them. He eventually apologizes for this on Twitter, sort of half-heartedly. This match, let's go back to the match. Sorry, you would figure maybe Cardona gets the pin, maybe Scorpio Sky to set up a TNT Championship match with Brody Lee or something like that. Dustin Rhodes rolls up Colt Cabana for the win in 15-10. Only 29% of you picked the Cornball Express. Mr. Brody Lee, I picked him too. Mr. Brody Lee is pissed off after the match, and we learn it'll be Brody versus Dustin for the TNT Championship on Wednesday Dynamite. I gave this match 2 stars.
I gotta agree with. Well, I gave it 2.25 stars. This felt like a very Dynamite type of match. I like Dustin getting the win. I like the post match with finally progression in the story of Colt Cabana in the Dark Order with Brody getting mad at him for the first time. And I absolutely loved Dustin's promo. One of the best promos he's had in quite some time, him getting emotional about getting the shot. But in retrospect, should have been on the show. It should have been Dustin versus Brody. It should have been Brody just being like, I beat the better brother. I'll just give you a shot at the pay-per-view. It should have just been that. Now in hindsight, because this match really felt like an afterthought. It really felt like a Dynamite match. So I felt like Brody defending the TNT title against Dustin on this show probably should have been the right move.
This match makes me very unsure we're going to have an All Elite recap this week.
Oh boy.
Wow. First of all, I like corn. What is that? Cornball Express?
Yes. Not to be confused with the Jurassic Express.
Yeah, I like that. But these two old messes, QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes, they come out. You would imagine Zack Ryder comes out next because Scorpio Sky, who's the only one worth a damn in this tag team, number one, and number two, has by far the best entrance that they just invested in 3-4 weeks ago, by the way. You would figure he comes out last. He should be the focal point of this team. He should be the one that gets the win. He should be the one to get the shot against Brody Lee because he didn't barely lose to Cody, but he should have barely lost to Cody, if not beat Cody. So you figure maybe that's the focal point, right? Not one of the 50-year-old guys, or the guy that doesn't work there. But they have this match, and on the other side of it, Colt Cabana's, you would think, buying in because now he's actually matching colors with the rest of Dark Order, right? It's clever that, they always set him up for the win, for the easy win, but then this time he goes for the extra move and it bites him in the ass. So that's clever. I would have preferred the walk away and disappointment rather than the berating, because now that concerns me to Colt Cabana versus Brody Lee arc that we're going to get when Colt Cabana has been money in the Dark Order. So I'm concerned what's going to happen there. In terms of Dustin, the man is 97 years old. Why is he getting title matches? Why am I supposed to be taking him seriously? He's not the better brother, and the better brother got destroyed. I was supposed to take you serious? Why? Because I'll never forget your name? Get out of here.
Overall, the match, I gave it a 2.2, 5 stars. Really wasn't that great. Like, anything major happened. I actually like the fact that Dustin got the roll-up pin, just for the fact that that's Cody's big brother, Storyline wise, that's really the only reason why I enjoyed that part of the finish. So now he went out there to defend and get this win for his family, for his little brother. I don't see him win. Obviously, he's not going to win, but far as putting the momentum behind him to go into this singles match against Brody Lee for the TNT Championship, that was commendable, I guess. But I'm more concerned about what's going on with the Dark Order, because they're supposed to be winning. I see them lose more times than they win, but that's all character and story development for them as a faction. So we'll just see where it goes from there.
I disagree with that point. The Dark Order is not supposed to be winning. Brody is supposed to be winning. That's why
he lost too. He didn't win.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't lose.
On the team.
He didn't lose.
He didn't get pinned.
He didn't lose. He didn't lose. Colt Cabana lost. He didn't lose.
Dark Order
express his anger.
versus Dark Order versus Cornball Express. Who got the victory here?
Hey, Brody did not take the loss.
No, I agree with that. He didn't take the pin, but
Brody has never been pinned or submitted. He was just passed out against Jon Moxley. He literally has not lost since he came to AEW.
Oh, semantics, man. Semantics. Come on, man.
Next up, Tag Team Championship, AEW Tag Team Championship, FTR versus Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. We get an update from the announcers on Matt Hardy. Apparently, Doc Sampson asked Matt if he was okay. And Matt said, yeah. And so it's all good. JR says, hey, sounds good to me. As Rebby Hardy said, a concussed person cannot clear themselves. Jesus Christ. Anyways, the crowd, I thought, dead for this. This was the match I was looking forward to the most out of all the matches. I thought the Thunderdome was louder than this. They wake up a little bit when Hangman Page gets the hot tag. You hear a faint cowboy shit chant. Omega accidentally hits a V-trigger on Hangman. FTR delivers a second Mindbreaker Spike pile driver, and they win in 29 minutes, 40 seconds. 95% of you got this right. 5% of you thought Hangman and Omega was going to win this. What are you doing? FTR leaves Hangman some beer. I don't know what beer it was. It did not look tasty. Who am I kidding? I'll drink any beer.
No.
Omega looks distraught. Hangman collapses. Very Shawn Michaels 1995 of him. Omega kicks a beer into the camera. Very nice. Nice kick. And then Omega walks out on Hangman. We follow him backstage. The Young Bucks are there. He walks through them, drives off. He says, you want to get in the car? They don't. I give this match... I'm telling you again. This was the match I was looking forward to most. But it fell short of my expectations. I think a little too long. I think they could have cut off maybe 5 to 10 minutes, got more shit in. It would have been a lot better. And the crowd kills everything from earlier. From that point on, going forward, I told you earlier. So I only give this 3.5 stars, but this should have been better.
I gave this match 3 3/4 stars. I agree that I think it went on a little bit too long. But if you're thinking about the story with Hangman and everything he's going through with Kenny and the Elite and kicked out of the Elite, pretty much having an okay relationship with FTR up until recently, where now he's like pretty much just being used as a pawn. We'll see where that goes from there. He had the most to lose in this match. He already, well, I wouldn't say the most to lose, but he already lost his friends. The other group of people that he thought that he had a decent relationship with, it just turned out to be that they were just using him, so to speak. The reason why I think the match went so long is because he had to show Kenny that he really wanted to retain these titles, regardless of their relationship. He wanted to go out there, show the Bucks that they shouldn't have just like kicked him out of the Elite. He had to show Kenny that they can retain the titles. He had to show FTR that they shouldn't have fucked with him. But I just like the overall atmosphere of the match. The actual in-ring content was decent as well. I just think it went on a little bit too much or too long. And then even the after-match antics with, it looked like Omega was about to, do an unofficial turn, but he really didn't. I actually enjoyed the fact that they didn't throw the blatant, I'm just going to attack my ex-partner, ex-stablemate thing. And we can stretch that out a little bit longer as well. It seemed like Kenny gave the Bucks like an ultimatum. He's like, you guys either come with me or you can go deal with Hangman. I don't even want, when you said that shit, they kicked him out the fucking group. So they obviously don't want to be dealing with him at the moment anyway. But I enjoyed the match for what it was. Maybe a little bit too long, but 3 3/4 stars.
FTR getting the gold. Number 1, right now we can go into this FTR Young Bucks thing. We don't have to have this triple threat that I was not looking forward to personally. It leads to a lot of angles. And if we're going to start off this group, this Revelation group, we start off right with a champion in it, or 2 of them. So very excited for FTR, what that means for the tag division. Very intrigued that now we can officially start this Hangman Page, Kenny Omega feud. Very excited that Kenny Omega is going to be the heel in this. So all the way around, just wins for the fans.
I gave this match 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I do agree with you guys. It probably went a little bit too long, especially with the atmosphere, with the crowd not being that much engaged. You could have got the same story done in 20 minutes rather than almost 30. But the work and the story involved in this match were top notch. Just the whole story of Hangman and Kenny's whole partnership is might not be the best team, but they are the best two wrestlers. And whenever they were on offense on FTR individually, Kenny had his moments where he was on offense against FTR, killing them. Hangman Page had a great moment where FTR knew the Miyahara moonsault was coming, and he did a swanton onto them instead. Whenever they were on their own, they worked a lot better than when they tried to do double teams. Every time they went for the last call, something went wrong. I would have honestly, I think it put over Hangman with him kicking out of the Mindbreaker, but it would have been a very nice visual for Kenny to have the hurt knee and not be able to break up the pin and have to watch him and Hangman lose the tag team titles. But the second Mindbreaker getting the job done definitely put over FTR as the better team. Hangman and Kenny were the better wrestlers, but FTR was the better team, and that was the whole story of the match. I love the post match with Kenny. Kenny has done some of his best work acting, character, and facial expression wise throughout this entire feud, especially his facial expression at the end, kind of with the ring announcer table deciding whether or not he wanted to hit Hangman with it and just deciding to leave. And then I didn't get the Young Bucks conflict though. I didn't understand why the Young Bucks didn't just get in the car with Kenny Omega. If you guys are really done with Hangman, just get in the car with Kenny, and it can be all three of y'all as the heel elite like y'all were originally. But I guess we have more to the story to be uncovered. I do think we're still going to get the triple threat because we still haven't seen the official split between Hangman and Kenny Omega, and I think that would be a great match for the Full Gear card. But like I said, I gave this 4 stars.
Next up is Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho, Mimosa Mayhem match. The crowd all of a sudden decides they're not hot anymore. Let's sing Judas. We're not hot. They sing to Judas. And then they go back to being quiet again. Cassidy wins this. He does 2 orange punches to Jericho on the top rope and drops him through a vat of mimosa. 15 minutes, 15 seconds. 65% of you picked Orange Cassidy. I gave this match 2.25 stars. This Jericho concept of a match, it fit, but it didn't really work. It wasn't fun to watch. It was kind of boring. But it is a nice way of Jericho losing the feud without getting pinned or submitted. I think it's time to move on from this. Orange Cassidy gets a huge bump from this, winning the feud. And it's time for Jericho, I guess, to keep wrestling. To my disgust. Let's start with Sid. He was shaking his head a lot there.
Man, I love this match. This match was awesome. I got my Orange Cassidy shirt on because Chris Jericho made himself a new star here. Like he said in the pre-match promo, this was all an experiment to see if Chris Jericho could elevate Orange Cassidy to a main eventer. That's what he did throughout this feud. This was probably right up there with their first match on Fyter Fest Night 2. I gave this match 3.5 stars. This was a lot of fun for a new feud, a new type of match. This is very similar to a casket match or buried alive match, but a lot more fun because it's very inventive. I was one that thought that the concept was very hokey and wouldn't work, and I am glad to say I was wrong.
I gave this match 3 stars. It was entertaining. The actual idea of the Mimosa match, yeah, it's out there. It's a little strange, but when you got, the former champion, late champion with a little bit of the bubbly and the orange juice guy, Orange Cassidy, it makes sense. Not really much you can do. Yeah, not really much you can do with the actual mimosa outside of throwing somebody in it. But yeah, the match was fun. It was a fun match. I gave it 3 stars.
I was not excited for a third match in the first place. The wind was way out of the sails for me in this whole feud weeks ago. Probably even by the second match that I could have did without either, quite frankly.
Agreed.
But in terms of this match itself, while Jericho is awesome for coming up with these different match types for him to lose in, whether it be Money in the Bank, whether it be Stadium Stampede, whether it be in Most of Mayhem, this was a little flat for him. And the pre-match promo where he stated that this whole time it wasn't personal. It wasn't about him walking through the shot. It wasn't about his $7,000 jacket. It was all about an experiment to see if he can elevate somebody up the card. I like my wrestling. I might be dating myself here, but I like my wrestling personal. I like conflict between person A or person A and B versus person B or person C's and D. I don't like, I was just fucking around for the hell of it and wanted to see what I can get out of you, and that's why we're fighting tonight. That doesn't seem like a reason to want to try to kill each other, which is what we were given and presented for 14 weeks. So, I guess it's okay Jericho takes a loss so you can make a star out of Orange Cassidy. I think it's very popular. I don't know if star is quite an adjective that will ever be placed on Orange Cassidy. But I really think that the bigger star, Chris Jericho, should be walking away victorious in his feuds.
Chris Jericho went live on Facebook after the match. I asked him, Chris, if I'm ever in a situation where I get mimosa on me, how do I get the stench off? I never got a response back.
Well deserved.
By the way, Marcus, I agree with you about that promo. 100%.
Yeah, it was like, what are we doing?
We have the new Hispanic Camp Cornette.
I honestly, I can't even disagree with that sentiment, because like you said, it took like 14 weeks to get to this 14 weeks to get to this point, and it's just like, oh, I was just fucking around. Like, come on, Jericho, like, you fuck around, but you weren't fucking around for 14 weeks. It's been personal.
And then it's main event time. It's Mox versus MJF for the AEW Championship. Lance Archer and Jake the Snake are in the stands watching closely, the number one contender. During Moxley's entrance, a fan gets tackled by security, trying to touch John during his entrance. What are you doing?
Love that.
I missed that.
I love that.
Oh, you didn't see that?
No, I gotta go back now.
And apparently Renee Young was in the crowd.
This match, a lot of blood and guts. MJF bleeds. MJF tries to cheat the Dynamite ring, which Wardlow tosses like he's Mitchell Trubisky. Bad toss. The ref has his back turned, and Mox takes advantage and does the paradigm shift, which was banned in this match. 23 minutes, 40 seconds. Mox retains. Dirty finish. 65% of you picked MJF correctly. You True Heels finished the night 7-2 on your predictions. Very nice. I gave this match 3.25 stars. I thought it was a great ending to an average match. By the way, afterwards, MJF is not happy on Twitter. He tweets fucking Wardlow.
Not just Wardlow, everybody. Fuck everybody.
He did 2 tweets. And then he also tweets Renee Young, not happy. Your husband's a cheater. Afterwards, Mox flips off Archer and Jake. He says something about, you're going to have to throw a whole house on me to stop me, something like that. I like that MJF has something to complain about going forward, similar in the vein of Sammy Guevara. Mox did cheat. But, as a wise man once said, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Ness, what do you think?
I really like the finish. That actually caught me by surprise because it didn't seem like something that Mox would do. I figured that he would just win the match without using the paradigm shift at all. So for him to actually use it in the way that they set it up, I found that to be a little hokey, but it was still like enjoyable and entertaining to see because the ref wasn't paying the fucking attention. So he's just like, fuck it, I can use it. And he did, and he won. The match itself was, as far as actually wrestling content, MJF needs to get praise for the way he worked this match. He needs to get praise for this match. Everybody thinks that he's just a character and just like entertainment. Like, no, the guy can go on the ring. And the way that they set the match up was more for him. You know, they didn't want to be on the outside of the ring where Moxley, he wants to brawl and turn into a fight instead of an actual wrestling match. I thought as though MJF did a great job of keeping it, for the most part, keeping it to just inside the ring and wrestling. Overall, I gave the match 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the finish. And again, just like you said, the feud doesn't have to be over right now. He has something to bring to AEW officials. Hey, I lost this match because the guy cheated. The move was banned. The ref didn't see it, but that was the parameters of the match. Overall, we'll see where they go with that. I wouldn't have been upset if MJF won the match as well. Like, he was already on a run. Was this like his first singles loss? I believe.
Yeah.
So like,
although he's still gonna say it's not clean.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they protected him in the loss as well. So again, he's the top heel of the company. He's up there. He has nowhere to go but up from where he's at now. So I really like to see where they go from this. But I gave the match 4 stars. I really enjoyed it.
Once again, I'm going to be the high man on this one. I thought this match was fantastic. It was just great, masterful, smart storytelling. The story that was established before this match was that Moxley was this hardcore guy, blood and guts type of guy that if it was a brawl, he would win, but MJF was the better wrestler. And that's exactly what the match was. When the match was in the ring, MJF had the advantage. He worked it over the arm, great psychology on the arm. I love the double stomp on the arm. I love the multiple attempts at the salt of the earth, and just his work over the arm made you really believe that he could get the job done in this one. And then anytime it went to the floor, Moxley immediately got the advantage, and him throwing MJF, doing the catapult into the ring post and busting him open was a great visual. MJF looked like Ric Flair out there with the crimson mask. It was a very 80s style match because I heard my drunk Uncle Dave Meltzer say it on Wrestling Observer Radio that Moxley in a lot of ways is this generation's Terry Funk in the way that he sells, and the way he sold the arm was very Terry Funk-esque. And MJF is a very much of a Ric Flair type of prototype with gimmick and in the way that he works, and he proved that he can back up every word he says, because a lot of people have said that MJF is, there's a lot of great talkers in the world, but there ain't a lot of great talkers who can also deliver on a main event level in the ring. A lot of people compare MJF to The Miz, and in my eyes, he wash all those comparisons away, because Miz can never put on a match like this. This was a fantastic match in story, fantastic match in the work. The intensity was there. This felt like a world title match, and at the end of the day, the finish leaves the door open. It elevates MJF because MJF won. Because if Moxley did the paradigm shift, he was going to lose the title. So MJF really won this match by Moxley winning the way that he did, and he leaves the door open for a rematch. I said this on AE Recap with the guys that Wardlow in some way would cost MJF, and that's exactly what happened. He distracted the ref long enough for Moxley to hit the paradigm shift. I love Moxley using it, because Moxley is very much of an Austin type of babyface. He's a guy that's not going to win all cookie cutter. He's not a bubblegum babyface. He is the type that would do something like this. So it works on a number of different levels. This match elevated MJF. It elevated the title, and it leaves the door open for more matches to come. I love this. 4.25 stars. My match of the night.
Before you go, Marcus, can I just say really quickly that I don't have a problem with the way that Mox won personally, because MJF was a dirty, slimy heel going into this match, and he sort of got a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah.
Marcus, what'd you think?
I think this ending was relieving. I had a lot of grave concerns about, are they going to have Moxley win clean in another way? Are they going to really force this Wardlow MJF narrative by having Wardlow cross MJF in a way that's kind of hokey and forced, right? Like maybe he goes to hit him, but he accidentally hits MJF or whatever. the fact that they came up with this as a storyline where he throws in the ring, but he kind of missed. And then also, by the way, let's not miss Blaine here. MJF took his sweet time picking the ring up instead of just picking it up and putting it on his finger. He kind of was mesmerized by his own dynamite diamond. And he's just like looking at it, oh, I love this thing. And before he puts it on, or tries to put it on, and eats a DDT. I think that was very well put together. I don't know who came up with the way that was going to end, but kudos to them. If it's Tony Khan, second kudos to him for the night on brilliant decision making that he's done today. Because that was very well put together. I would have personally preferred MJF getting the title, even transitionally, but I think this worked. This gives us an opportunity to have multiple people coming after Moxley with the Arthur title match, with MJF wanting another title match, whatever else is going to come up. So
match of the night. I personally going to go Shida versus Thunder Rosa, to my shock, because I was looking forward to that tag team title match. That was going to be my match of the night going in. I could have sworn I would have bet money on it.
I actually have to agree with that. That was maybe not have been the best quote unquote match of the night, but that was my favorite match of the night. Shida versus Thunder Rosa.
I would give it to Moxley versus MJF, one of the better AEW matches of the year, one of the better world title matches that they've had in quite some time.
I was tempted to give it to the tag title match because that was the best ending of the night in terms of actual results, while the finish to MJF and Moxley was better results-wise. FTR getting these tag titles and ushering in a new era. I think, personally, bias speaking, is a little bit better. But, man, damned if I just can't get over Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara.
That was very predictable.
Man. Oh.
Marcus, why don't you start us off with your MVP?
I think it's Moxley. To quote Cornette, his Stone Cold cosplay was done very well in this match.
I'm actually going to have co-MVPs. I'm just piggyback off of my match of the night. I'll give it to Thunder Rosa and Haku Rashida. They had one of the better matches on the card. I wouldn't call it biasness, but in a company where the main focus is the male talent, they went out there and contended with that with their male counterparts. So Haku Rashida and Thunder Rosa are my co-MVPs. You see that, Jaquan? We can give women some props.
We're going to continue the women props with me for my MVPs. As someone who's hasn't seen much of Thunder Rosa, me personally, I didn't really like that match on Dynamite, but this match tonight, I am impressed with Thunder Rosa. She raised her stock, whether she's going to be in NWA going forward or maybe she's going to AEW. Who knows? AEW needs to get more Thunder Rosa, in my opinion. I'm also going to give the MVP to Aubrey Edwards, the only sane person in the building that knew Matt Hardy was absolutely fucked up and could not continue. She is not an actual doctor, but she might as well be. Thank you, Aubrey Edwards, for trying to save Matt Hardy's life. Rebby Hardy said she hates everyone in that building. Don't hate Aubrey Edwards. Aubrey tried. Aubrey tried, Rebby. Aubrey Edwards tried.
For my MVP, I would love to give it to Moxley. Even FTR deserves a lot of credit, but since I got my guest star here with me, my daughter, Harlem, so I think we're going to give it to the ladies. We got to give it to the ladies. We got to represent for the ladies here. Harley, right? Yep, she agrees. Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida for co-MVPs as well.
Jabroni, or LVP of the night, however you want to slice it.
This is going to be great.
I'll start. Doc Sampson, are you even an official licensed doctor? How can you tell that someone is okay to go in 4 minutes, less than 4 minutes, whatever that was? I'm sure even the NFL, like when you get a concussion, they put you in the tent. It's a good 10, 15 minutes. Matt Hardy swerved you, Doc Sampson, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Tony Khan. Override the doctor, Tony Khan. You don't always have to listen to the doctor. Use what I like to call, common sense. Yeah, some of that will do you good in life. And I'm not done. Every single person that was in the audience is also my jabroni and LVP of the night. Oh, it's hot. Oh, the humidity. Who cares? I sat 8 hours at WrestleMania in Orlando, and I was loud as hell in the end of the night. I was drunk, but still, I was loud. You pay your hard-earned money just to sit there in your hands and be quiet? Come on. All right. Whew. Well, I got that off my chest. Marcus, what you think?
First off, I'm going to need you to put some spec on the names of Dr. Sampson and Tony Khan. Oh. How dare you? Very tempted to say that there were 21 jabronis of the night at Battle Royal. However, the Nightmare Shamily are just god-awful television, and the fact that they've minimized the best person in that group, Scorpio Sky, is just irreprehensible as well. And to give a title match to this geriatric on top of all of it is just tripling down on horrible booking and storylining, and there's just no need for it. Dustin only has a job because his name is Rhodes. He's only on television because his name is Rhodes. They, by the way, also gave a spot to Brandy to spear Anna Jay, or whatever she wants to call that move, in the match because her name is Rhodes. I'm done with all these people. Give Scorpio Sky his push, fire the other three, or at least get them off of television. Let Dustin run his school. Let Brandy does whatever she's possibly good at. Maybe doing heels commercials, like anybody's going to pay those $50. Let QT Marshall do anything else also. Supply the apples backstage. I don't know. But get these horrible wrestlers like them, like Marco Stunt, like whoever else, off of my television. There's no need for it. There's a loaded roster full of people stuck on dark, stuck on not wrestling except for 1 out of every 3 weeks, because you have this horse shit on my television. The Nightmare Shamily are my 4 LVPs.
We've had a lot of candidates for Jabroni of the Night or LVP, but the one that I'm gonna go with, Colt fucking Cabana. You had the win lined up for you on a silver platter, but you just had to go above and beyond and do extra. Miss and have your team lose. If that's not a loser or a jabroni, if I've ever seen one, I don't know what one is. So I'm sorry, Colt. It got to be you.
Sid in Harlem. Who are your LVP and jabronis?
Doc Sampson. First of all, he gets an LVP because that was a horrible call.
Yeah.
And secondly, Tony fucking Khan. Goddamn, Tony. I know you got 1,001 questions during that media scrum. Jesus, that was the worst decision in AEW history. So you are well deserving of LVP. Agree, Harlem? Agreed.
Gentlemen, let's put our thumbs out.
My new favorite part of the show.
We are going to count it down in 3, 2, 1. It'll be thumbs up or thumbs down for the entire show. 3, 2, 1. I can't see Marcus. He disappeared. Was he holding up?
He has 2 thumbs down.
Oh, shit. That's wow. We will rate this from a score of 0 to 10. I will start I gave this a 6.4. This is AEW's first disappointing pay-per-view, which is fine. It's fine. They've had all knockouts, everything else. I thought it dragged. I thought it was underwhelming. I thought it's definitely not worth your $50. Save it. Put your $50 towards maybe the new Avengers game. NBA 2K is out.
Don't get the new. Don't lie to the people and tell them to get 2K. 2K. Don't get 2K. Please don't get.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. If you want to save your money,
you
want to save your money. Full Gear's coming up November 7th. I guarantee you that's going to be better than this. 6.4 is the rating for me. Ness, what's your score rating?
I only gave it a 0.1 above that. I gave it a 6.5. Overall, solid show, but the botches that happened were like major botches. With some of us enjoyed, Matt going off of the scaffolding and then getting okay by Doc Samson to continue to keep going. And, with the perspiration in the Battle Royal where Matt Sydal nearly broke his neck. But outside of that, it was an okay show. But those were two major things for me personally that, I just couldn't overlook as a overall rating for the show. But it's still a thumbs up, 6.5.
Yes, Harlem's Wines means that this was the weakest AEW pay-per-view. Like I said at the top of the show, I usually have given every AEW pay-per-view between 7.5 and 9. And honestly, before the tag team title match, this was at like a 5.5, barely above a thumbs up. But because of the final 3 matches and me really liking the main event, I gave this 7 out of 10.
I gave this 4.5 for the whole night. I was wondering what's the middle, and it wasn't there. And not even the medical professional expertise of Doc Samson and the executive decision-making of Mr. Khan, nor the Spanish god himself, Sammy Guevara, could save this from even meeting the middle. This was a 4.5 for me. This was a letdown. FTR, as great as they are, as great as that main event match was, it was just, like you said, underwhelming, and it was under that line.
So that is all for this pay-per-view roundtable. I would like to thank my very special guest, Harlem Rain. She decided to take to sit her ass down, so she's not with us. But thank you for your guest appearance, my beautiful daughter. Thank you guys. Thank those watching. Remember to push that like button, share this video. Of course, the iCard down at the bottom to subscribe, the bell to stay notified, and most importantly, comment down below with your thoughts on AEW All Out. Give us your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP, and whether you gave it a thumbs in the middle, thumbs down, or thumbs up for the show. If you're a negative Nancy like Marcus Cash, you can put 2 thumbs down if you like. For our true heel heat 6-man Ness, thank you very much once again for showing up on the pay-per-view roundtable, sir.
Thanks for having me, bro. I'm always up. I'm dubbing myself the Roundtable Rebel. I need a new gimmick, a new nickname. I'm gonna run with that as well as the Baby Maker. Maybe I'll work on that after we're done here.
The baby making champion of the world, Ness, our co-host for All Elite Recap and the creator of My Battery is Dying YouTube channel, Marcus Cash. Thank you once again for joining us.
No problem. Dr. Sampson's biggest fan is always happy to be.
And tell Jimmy we say hi. Hopefully we get another All Elite Recap this week. And of course, there is the co-host of the Wednesday Night Warriors and True Rewind, the connoisseur of all reporting, Mr. Romeo Anthony Colon.
The Pride of NY on Twitter and Instagram. I'm just glad that I was able to beat my Wednesday Night Warrior brother Chris G and pick for one night.
And as you heard her, that is Harlem Rain in the background. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. We are signing off, yes, for all AEW All Out Roundtable. Until next time. Peace, y'all.